Hello, Facebook fans and YouTube fans of DX Engineering. It is Thursday afternoon here in the Eastern time zone of the USA. It's 1930 Zulu on January 9th, 2025. And this is the Manufacturer Showcase brought to you by DX Engineering. And this is a show where we talk to the over 175 different manufacturers that we represent and sell here at DX Engineering. Today we have John Kruk from Yaesu USA. Hello, John.
Hello, Tim. How you doing?
Good, good. John, very sad day today. Dennis Machin K7BV became a silent key. Why don't you bring everybody up to date on Dennis?
Sad day that we got here with the news. Dennis had been the VP of Yaesu USA for some many years. He had retired actually just kind of right before COVID kind of hit on there. He'd been if anybody knows Dennis, everybody knows how Dennis was a hard worker and everything like that, and how he loved to do radios. And he kind of retired and said, hey, I want to go ahead and I just want to play with radios. I don't necessarily want to have to work and sell them. And it was so great to hear that he was able to go ahead and enjoy it. A lot of us kept in touch with him through the different years and everything like that. And unfortunately, he had cancer. And this morning we had, like I said, just had heard news that it was advised by his family that he had passed away this morning. So, and it's not just Yaesu. Dennis was involved with so many things, with the ARRL, with many other radio projects, many different things. He was a master at, CW, master at contesting, all that kind of thing. And if you knew Dennis, you were like Dennis's best friend. And we're just taken back by it.
Yeah, it is very sad, and feel very sad for his family as well, who went through a lot. And Dennis was a real fighter. He fought cancer hard on, and just, a fixture at the Yaesu booth for so many years, and always a very open and sensitive ear. But boy, did he love ham radio. Absolutely. The passion, you talked about, in fact, he was a super contester, super CW operator. I know he had recently had some work done on the tower last year when E77DX was over here in the US. He went down to Dennis's place and did some work for him. So really sorry to see him go, but know that he was in a lot of pain throughout. And Dennis was the guy that stood tall for DX Engineering, John. When I became a part of DX Engineering, I reached out to Dennis right away and said, "Hey, Dennis, what do we have to do to become a Yaesu dealer?" And so he was the guy that stood tall for us as a competitor in the U.S. And we are forever grateful, and our customers are grateful for everything that Dennis did for us. Let's shift gears to 2025, John.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk, before we know it, Hamvention's going to be here.
Yes.
And, I know you're going to have a tremendous booth at Hamvention, but also leading up to it is Hamcation.
Yes.
Now, why don't you talk about the things that you and Yaesu are going to talk about at Hamcation coming up here in just a few weeks?
Yeah, it's hard to believe that we're a month away, and it actually kind of feels weird because usually I escape northern Wisconsin here to be able to go down to warmer weather in Florida, but it sounds like everybody's getting the weather that we normally get here. So maybe I might not go this year. No, just kidding. But this year's going to be kind of a big one for us. We're going to have our first introduction for the hands-on for our new a dedication of our analog product line, which is the FTM 150 ASP, the FT 3185 ASP, and the FT 3165 ASP. Those are three new analog mobiles that we have come out with on there, and a very big push for FM mobile and FM technology out there. I know a lot of people feel like, digital voice is going to take over and everything like that, but there are still a lot of analog users out there. And these 3 radios were designed to kind of fit that bill to be able to really allow the analog users to enjoy high quality radios with a lot of features in them.
So, John, let's talk about these 3 radios. Let's talk about, what frequencies do they cover?
Sure. The FTM 150 is a full dual band, dual receive radio. And we want to stress that on there because the dual receive ability with the 2 separate receivers in there does allow it to do full crossband. So it does do crossband. The 150 covers VHF of 2 meters of 144 to 148, and then the 70 centimeter portion of 430 to 450 megahertz. Now that is of course just for transmit. It does have a widened receive band on there, so people can go ahead and kind of, if they want to receive some of the public safety transmissions on there, if they want to listen. I know some people like to listen to GMRS, some people like to listen to business frequencies. So it does have a wide receive ability on there, but it's 2 meters for operation, or excuse me, 2 meters and 70 centimeters for that one for operation.
And power output?
Power output is 50 watts on there for the VHF and the UHF side. It does have also 20 watt setting and a 5 watt setting on there. So we tell people, if you're going to be doing crossband and it's going to be a lot of usage, adjust the power settings on there. But the design is really a take off of what a lot of people like in the FTM 500. A lot of people are saying, I wish the FTM 500 was in an FM only band. I don't want digital, don't want APRS. And that's really kind of what the 150 echoes in it.
All right. And how about the other 2 radios, John?
So the other 2 radios actually are very, very popular among different groups and different sets of people on there, which we were surprised, and that's why we did it, which is the FT3185. Now, a lot of people are saying, oh, it's just a rehashed 2980. Yeah, no. Form factor wise, design concept, yes. It is a 85 watt, hence the 85 of 3185. It is VHF only, but it does not have any fans because it's a full heat sink on there. So it's heavy duty, designed to be put into tough environments on there. And that's where we got a lot of people that were asking about this radio to look at a redesign to add a few more things to it. You have your offlander, or what are they called? Overlanders, your off-roaders. I mean, up here in Wisconsin, we have people that use UTVs, ATVs, off-road vehicles, and they like that form factor of just a heck of a durable radio on there that can do it. And this is what the 3185 is. And the 3165 it's kind of a smaller counterpart, which is a 65 watt radio. Form factor is exactly like the FT 3100 or FTM 3100, but it also includes this feature that the 3185 does and the FTM 150 has, which is our new ASP technology, which is what makes these radios shine.
Let's talk about the ASP technology, John. What makes that better and so special?
Well, what we did is that through our product line, if you take a look at our HF lines like the 710 AESS, it has a great DSP, digital signal processor, in there. You look at the FTM 500, which has the AESS technology, which is audio processing on there. What we did is we said, why can't we take this and put it into FM only rigs? So what the ASP stands for is it stands for Advanced Digital Signal Processing, which comes standard in the radio. There is not a need to purchase an additional board or nothing like that on there. And what it does is an inserted board automatically from the factory in there as part of it that basically will take that weak signal, that weak audio, and applies it as like a DSP speaker would. So it's going to clean up the noise a little bit. It's going to enhance the audio quality of it. One thing I want to stress, though, it is not an amp, like a preamp on there. A lot of people said, oh, it's like a preamp on there and stuff. And people have kind of treated it like a preamp. And then when they use that kind of mentality of it, then what happens is they don't get good performance on there. It sounds horrible. What it's designed to do is that you're working simplex, you're working a distance repeater. That audio level is just hard to hear. That signal's got a lot of quote unquote bacon frying on there. By hitting the SDX button, which activates the ASP technology on there, it's going to clean it. It's going to enhance that audio level and that signal monitoring level to you. It just cleans it up so amazingly. However, just like with anything with DSP, if the signal's already good, if the audio's already good, adding DSP to that is going to maybe muffle it, make it sound underwater-ish on there. But this just cleans up the signal amazingly. And we actually did a video of our office in California where it's on our YouTube channel, where you can actually see, you can hear the signal. It's weaker audio, very scratchy, hit it, and then boom, it just like it's right there.
Nice. That is a great feature. Let's see who we have here in the chat room, John. Before we close up today, X-Ray Echo 2 Zulu Zulu is in there. Bob the Traveler, who is WD8 November, Victor November, is in there. He met Dennis several times. And from snowy Dallas, Fort Worth, Kilo Juliet 5, Fox Whiskey Charlie. And our friend Michael, W3MLJ. The 710 is one of my favorite radios for portable operations. And I know Michael took that down on his contest expedition. And we've got Kilo Bravo 2 Uniform Echo Whiskey on. And a great job. And checking in from the UK, it's Mike 0 Delta Sierra Kilo. And got Tom on, Alpha Echo 1 Tango Papa. Love my Yaesu products. Cheers, gents. And we've got Kilo Fox 6 November Fox Whiskey out in Eastern Oregon. And let's see, Whiskey 9 Uniform Sierra Ed is on with us. Kilo Golf 2 Mike down in Florida. Tim and John, great new radios being offered by Yaesu. And let's see, Kilo Golf 2 Mike says great new radios, and he'll see everybody at Hamcation. Steve says any FTX 1F news, anything there, John, or we're a little ways away, I think.
Yeah, our biggest thing on there is we're waiting obviously for type acceptance. One of the things that we're kind of doing with the FTX 1F is that we're waiting until it gets certified type accepted globally on there, so then that way we can do a global launch. I know, and recently we've seen a lot of people are buying radios outside of the US and bringing them into the US, and they're not the right regions and stuff. And that's why we tell people, if you want a Yaesu radio, buy it from dealers like DX Engineering here. You're getting a radio for the region. It's a lot to say. That you are living in, that it's going to work there. You're getting the Yaesu warranty. So once this FTX 1F gets type accepted and we're at the part, we're going to go ahead and release it. I can tell you this without going into or getting into any trouble or something. It is definitely a QRP rig. It was designed to be a QRP rig. It's 10 watts on there. But what people wanted in like the larger rigs, like the 710, the FTDX10, the FTM 500, it's going to be put into this radio. And I think people are going to go ahead and see it, how small and compact it is, what it can do. It's really going to change the way that people are going to be able to operate, and people will want to operate with such a small device. It really is going to be amazing in that case.
Well, that is great, and we know it's coming soon. We got Dave in California, Whiskey 6 Charlie, Radio Tango, and KF6 NFW. He loves the ASP feature. And let's see here. It's not a preamp. Down to AE1 Tango Papa. Got my SCU LAN 10 from DX Engineering. Used my 710 remote. Works like a treat. My remote station is 1,200 miles away. And let's see here. What else do we have? November 8 India Bravo Whiskey is on from the Dayton area. Almost all of my radios are Yaesu. Ed, love my FTM 400. And see, Chris says my first Yaesu was the FT 470, a solid HT. And let's see. Ed says, I love my FTM 400 and Fusion, and I like your repeater deals. You have been running our club and they have been taking advantage of the repeater deals. So good all the way around, John. Lots going on in 2025. Everybody can see you down at Hamcation, and we're all looking forward to that show as well as Hamvention coming up in May. John, thanks so much for coming on today.
No problem, Tim. Thanks for having me on.
All righty. And thanks to all of you for watching. We'll see you tomorrow for the weekend special here at DX Engineering. Until then, 73.